an 18-foot straight up and down with the handlebars fully locked. Indian is pretty close. Your motor, Brad, is probably pretty close, or if not tighter, because of how much smaller it is. We'll figure that out. So straight up and down, handlebars full lock. Basically one of these bus parking lots. You guys see that, right? Now, if we add a lean to that, watch what I'm able to do. I took that 18-foot U-turn and brought it down to about 16 and a half to 17 feet. Did I scrape my boards? No, because my handlebars were at full lock. If I'm scraping my boards, I'm compensating my steering input for a lean. Now, if I were to lean that with full lock, I'm down to 15 foot or tighter. These Harleys will do about 14.8, roughly. That'll probably do 14.7 because everything's worn down from falling. All right, so these are just some things to think about while we're riding today. All right, go ahead and push those bars a couple times. We are going to start our motors in just a second, and I want you to get into the friction zone. And here's what I want you to do. While you're in the friction zone, I want you to feel that friction zone. I want you to come out of the friction zone so the motorcycle's moving forward, and I want you to stay in the friction zone with the bikes trying to move forward, push it back with your legs. So if you're too deep into the friction zone, you're not going to be able to push it back. If you're too light in a friction zone, you're going to roll back, because if you haven't noticed, you're on a hill. So if you squeeze that clutch all the way in, the bike's going to roll back. So I want you to be in that friction zone. Throughout the day, you're going to hear Jeff and I say power. Power, 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 power. What we're telling you is to put power to that rear wheel. Once these motorcycles no longer have power to that rear wheel, it wants to drop. It no longer has the power to keep that momentum going. A motorcycle under power wants to stand up. How many of you watch videos with motorcyclists ride or riderless motorcycles?
How many people have been that rider?
Yeah, how many? You've seen videos where guys fall off their motorcycle and the motorcycle just keeps going. It doesn't need you. It doesn't care. Right? Anybody can go in a straight line. All right? So it doesn't take a lot to ride a motorcycle. It takes a lot to control a motorcycle. And that's where we're at today. We want to be in that friction zone. So we're going to have you start your motors. Jeff and I are going to walk down. We want to see you in that friction zone, pushing the bike back while the bike is still under power. So that means it's very little power. All right. All right. Questions? All right. Fire them up. Still trying to pull you forward?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where you want to be. You guys are pulling the clutch too much. Pull the clutch a little bit more. See? You just lost power. See how the bike dropped?
Yeah.
All right, that's why you want to be in that tight friction zone all day long.
All right.
All right, does everybody feel that? You want that motor under power the whole time. The hydraulic clutch guys. It's difficult, but it's there. All right. Next exercise. Jeff is going to demonstrate real quick. He's just going to show you right here. All we're doing is a slow speed walk. This slow speed, your hazard's on. Your headlights on. This slow speed walk, we're going to form up in two groups going uphill. As we get in line, The group on the right is going to go up with me or Jeff. They're going to come back and they're going to get in the left lane. The guys on the left go up, they come back and they get on the right lane. So one time you're with me, one time you're with Jeff. Make sense? It's just a really easy exercise. We're at walking speed, my walking speed, and Jeff and I are going to be making you go up, speed up and slow down, speed up and slow down. How are we controlling speed throughout the day? What are we controlling speed with?
Clutch and throttle?
Not the throttle.
Okay.
The clutch and the rear brake. Right? And that's this first exercise. This first exercise is just demonstrating that movement or getting that feel. Okay? Jeff's gonna walk with me, you're gonna see. This is the slowest exercise all day. This is not the speed I want you guys at. This is a speed that I want is only for this exercise. After this, the speed moves up. All right? Questions? All right. Here's motor. RPMs are fairly low. Speed up. Slow down. Speed up. Slow down. Speed up. Right out. That's what we're going to be doing. This first exercise is just getting that feel of that friction zone and that rear brake. Trying to keep that RPM at that consistent RPM. And when you're increasing and decreasing like that, your RPM is going to go up and down. It is going to fluctuate because that's just the motor coupling and decoupling, right? So that's all that is, all right? Questions? RPMs were a little high, and as we came up the hill more and more, you brought them down, and your brake pressure was less and less. Like I said, just a light brake.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so some of you guys were way harder on your throttle and your brake than you thought you were. All right, did you notice a difference once we made those corrections? All right, it's a lot less stress on that bike when you get those RPMs and that rear brake right. All right, so remember that triangle. All right, and if you were playing around at all, you know, when you're coming back out of an exercise, use the skills that we're teaching you throughout the day to constantly challenge yourself. So if you're struggling at some point in an exercise, it's okay to go out there and practice a little bit without cones. It's okay to practice the slow speed drill that we just did coming up as we're looping around, all right? So all day long, I want you to challenge yourself. If I say, hey, go down to the tent and come back, I don't want you going an 80-foot circle to come back, all right? You're here because you want to get better. So challenge yourself in everything you do today. I do a lot of visual references. Like if I'm riding and I'm trying to challenge myself, I wait until I get right on this line and I just bam, and I go down that line. I don't just go whee. I challenge myself and I wait till I get right to the last second and I slam those bars and I make that turn. So challenge yourselves every day you guys ride. Some of you I know are challenging yourselves on Sundays at the cone camp. Great, but are you challenging yourself every time you ride? I seen a video where you pulled in a parking lot, you know, 2 parking lots, awesome. Constantly challenge yourself. I tell you what, I like to show off. I'm not gonna lie, okay? I love rolling into a parking lot and just slamming that bike around and I do it even though you don't have to, I slam the boards on the ground and get that, right? Because a biker goes, oh wow, that's a badass dude, right? Even though I know on the boards isn't ideal, getting those bars around. But if I just go in and turn the bars and make a 16-foot U-turn, it doesn't draw attention. So when it draws attention, somebody goes, that was pretty badass. I pull out a business card to hand it to them.